It's a pleasure to be here. You are my best audience because you're my brothers, you're my sisters. And with these feelings of joy, let me put the goal for this speech. I want you level up your game. In these 30 minutes, I want your performance is better. Your application, your infrastructure is better. So let me tell you what is here for you. First of all, we will be talking about your skill acquisition first line. So my idea is that there is a way to learn better, to perform better, to acquire new skills faster, and help others to do the same. On this way, I found a way to perform awesome autoscaling for Kubernetes. My life is like before and after. I did find this solution. Well, I'll share with you my opinionated structure for my Terraform code. So I'm a huge fan of Terraform, many years, but I'm still looking for the best structure for my Terraform code. So for the last 1 year, I've built maybe, I don't know, 50 clusters with Terraform, and every time I try something new. And well, so far, this is the best way. I'm not there yet, but this is the way. Also, it could be interesting for you because I think it's very cool dev environment, remote dev environment, especially when you have huge and crazy security restrictions. I'll explain it later. Okay, about learning. So I'm trainer, and if I want you to learn your biking circle, it would be strange if I start to talk about bike. What are the details? What is the structure? What is there? What is not there? But weirdly, we are doing the same with DevOps. For example, if I teach you Kubernetes, I would start, well, Kubernetes has API, have scheduler, blah, blah, blah. But there's no any reason for this, actually. So instead of this, my goal is to let my students to be the most productive, to be the most creative. And the ultimate goal is to get them to be unconscious competence. Let me explain. For example, I'm going to learn a new language. I don't know, Zik. And I started with unconscious incompetence. I have no idea what is this, maybe the name. So I heard somebody did something with, that's it. So next level is conscious incompetence. So I know there are some parts, it's very good with C, blah, blah, blah. Then I'm on the level on conscious competence when I know stuff. I know where to learn, where to take a look to the docs, and what is there. But the goal here is to get to unconscious competence. So, for example, with Python, and many years with Python, I forget how to name the things, actually. But if I have some issue, some technical issue, I don't know, just like it's not me doing this. Like you just jump in, and then you jump out, and you see your results. So this is unconscious competence. And now with GPT, so when we have Parrot, so you cannot do parroting, you cannot do copy pasting and hope it will work. It won't. So all these large language models push us to be creative, and creativity is on this level. So my goal for my students is to get to this level as soon as possible, as easy as possible. But I have some issues. There are psychological limitations. First of all, our brain saves mental energy as much as possible. So if you don't know Kubernetes, it tried to keep it this way. Because you did survive without Kubernetes, well, why would we bother, okay? So next idea. We have monkey mind. And this monkey spend all their time communicating with their tribes. We don't have so much communication with the tribe. And then we have to mimic. So we have virtual tribe in our mind. So we are talking constantly with virtual members of our tribe. So I can talk to taxist in Paris, and 3 years ago he did not give me change. So I can complain to him in my mind instead of doing learning Kubernetes. Okay. Another issue: conscious mind has bandwidth limits. So unconsciously we can get about 2 megabytes per second. But with conscious mind, what is conscious mind? For example, I would say, well, this exit is green. So now you have in your conscious mind, this is green, and you can remember it. And it's very limited. Another issue: teachers' conspiracy. Okay, this is between us. Between us, please. This is a huge secret. I'm a teacher. I'm a trainer. So it's my official position. And I have a plan. Hours. I have to spend hours teaching you. And for example, I can teach you Prometheus, I don't know, 40 minutes maybe, and let you then master it up for the next year, okay? But I have hours to spend. So instead of going quite quickly to the point and let you acquire a new skill as soon as possible, I can be talking. Even if my students, everyone with glassy eyes, thinking about something else, I can go saying something, explaining, go with, like by circle, I can explain what are the parts. So we have, maybe it's unconsciously, but still, this is quite an issue. And another issue is we have tendency to live in illusions. So some of my students came to me and they want to have an illusion. They want to have certificate. They want to have like something in CV that they know something. So they expect me is explaining what are the details, what are the keywords, etc., etc. But it's not a real knowledge. In DevOps, real knowledge, it's something, it's motor skill. It's another part of the brain. So good DevOps, what is hard? What hard is our business? It's constant context switching, yeah? So you're in this context, you're in context of Terraform, you're in context of Python, you're in context of logging. So it's actually, it's very hard. It's mentally a lot of energy. It takes a lot of energy. So what next? So how do I address this psychological limitation? I took this approach from military trainings. So think about, they have quite complicated machinery, and they have quite, well, simple guys to operate this machinery, as they found very particular way to teach them. And this way, it starts with practical thing. So they're learning by doing. And with in my DevOps practicing platform, so I spent 1 year building it. So this is a response to my real pain. I got to this project 1 year ago, and when I start to teach at my job in Luxoft, I have quite an issue. Everything I explain. So instead, my approach, we start to build end-to-end application from very beginning. We just start, okay, so we are learning, for example, one of my favorite courses, serverless in AWS. So we just start with serverless. So we start with Terraform, state, etc., like I would build it. So actually, I mimics my, I have a lot of experience. I spend a lot of time as an independent contractor, so I was jumping from project to project many years. So, and in every project, I told my selling point was, everything I've built has lifetime warranty. And I'm able to get there to something I built a few years ago and see, immediately understand what is going on. Also, I was able to hand over my infrastructure in 15 minutes. I just say, well, take a look here. Everything is there. So it's Terraform. And we go, every step is testable, small testable states. And one of my favorite English words is contemplation. That means we are sitting, you write something. or you see somebody wrote something code. So you put it in your screen, and you staring at it without much thinking. You're just staring at it, contemplating, so reflect, especially when you learn a new language and new infrastructure. OK, so what the technical limitation I have in my project? First of all, nothing can be installed on student's computer. Because I have mixed groups. I have senior guys, I have junior guys in the same group. For junior guys, it would be almost impossible to set up everything. And also, we have a lot of security restrictions. And there are more and more restrictions here. Cost. I don't want to say that we here in Luxoft we don't have money. We have, and we spend a lot of money on trainings. But in this turbulence time, it's very hard to get any few extra bucks for something not expected before. So cost was real issue for me. So I have to be under radars. And with DevOps training, well, if I would teach Python, it was very easy. You just say, write this, have unit test or integration test, and this is it. You can do it in Udemy. But with DevOps, it's much more complicated, so many moving parts. And actually, I should expect some of my students have potentially compromised it. And actually, it was the case. Once we have compromised computer for students. So I had to address it. For example, I was teaching Prometheus. What I have Python with all the models. I have editor. I have access to AWS. I have Prometheus server runner. I have Jupyter to check API. I have Grafana to show graphs. And I have kubectl, after all. So how it looks from outside. The main point, the main entering point is Visual Studio Code running in browser. So as you can see, it has terminal with everything is set up. So I have access to AWS, to kubectl pointing to my particular namespace. And this is just good old Visual Studio Code. Well, for me, it's hard. I spent 10 years with Emacs, then 10 years with Vim, and well, now I'm Visual Studio. I never expected it happens, actually, but here we go. Next part is my assessment platform. So you can see I try to keep my trainings between 20, 30 steps. And every step has a check. So when you click the check, under the hood, it goes, this thing is running in the pod. Okay? And when you click the check, it goes to the pod, runs some command to get the result. And everything else also have a lot of stuff here. GitLab, whatever, really, a lot of stuff. When I was talking with conference organizers, actually this is very smart. I'm very happy to be here. And they ask, what the wow tools and results? And actually, this is a very good question. So what are the wow results? Everything is in browser, so we spent almost zero time on setting these things up. Cost, it's very good. So I don't spend like less than $300 per training, or usually less. And I don't spawn this infrastructure. Somebody else run Terraform apply or run some Jenkins jobs and everything. And it's very easy to get, so I can get a new student in just in few minutes. And also, I don't have any orphan resources as well. So just destroy and everything goes down. What are the wow tools? Well, Kubernetes. What Kubernetes gives us? It gives us the right level of abstraction. I don't need any instance in my life. No, not at all. I need deployment, right? So Kubernetes gives me this exactly deployment. And Actually, I started with just EC2 instance. So I want one student, one EC2 instance, everything on this instance. Well, it's kind of good abstraction level, but it's not enough. It was very hard. So when I switched to Kubernetes, it became much, much more easy. Well, Coder this is the guys, they put VS Code in a browser. They have Docker image. I just use the Docker as basic for my image. Terraform. Well, Terraform is life-saving for me. It's so many times when I type Terraform plan, it gives me something unexpected. So and especially modules created by Anton Babenko. He is a great guy, and despite all these years, when I want to learn something new about Terraform, I just go and check his work, and I use his modules a lot. Karpenter. This is a new kid in the block, and it's now on 0.46 something version, and it's now actually it's useful right now. How it works before? So before I have an autoscaling group, and if I need more instances, if I need more power to make cluster, I should go or somehow set up automatically autoscaling goes up and goes down. And it was hard. And I have to choose what the Terraform instance type to go. I don't know, it's so many instances. Another issue, if I'm using I'm using spot instances most of the time. It could put the instance in different availability zone, and it could I can have an issue with volume. So I have volume in one availability zone. In this zone, I have 0 instances. So I had a lot of issue with this autoscaling. And then I have Karpenter. With Karpenter, it's just 2 instances. My cluster has 2 instances, stable, dedicated instances. With Karpenter on it, this is it. Everything else, take it care with Karpenter. It chooses the instance type I've never heard about. So for example, I start the environment. It checks what are the requirements. So what are the put in pending state. Immediately starts a right amount of instances in the correct availability zone. And do it very quickly, just real time. So it's amazing. Well, AWS. So why I'm on AWS? I think it's support. So I see they have quite strange decision from time to time, and but support is really good. And spot instances, it also for me it's life-saving again because of cost. So cost it's 5 times less. But with Karpenter, so what's happened with Karpenter? It listens for health events in AWS. So AWS say, well, I'm going to restart this instance in 2 minutes. Karpenter, OK, move all the load, starts new instance, move all the load to these new instances, and shut it down. So for me, it works very well. OK, so what is inside? I have this structure. My idea that we should have layered infrastructure. So, and the main goal is to have it with different pace. Let me explain. So once I set up VPC and EKS, I'm not going to touch it for the next year. Okay, so when I have to update new Kubernetes version. So this is it. So I put it there and I forget about. Next level is Kubernetes foundation. So I have to install CSS drivers, add-ons, application load balancer, or maybe engines controller if I want engines controller, etc. So I set up, and Karpenter as well. On the 0.2, I have Karpenter, not groups. So I decide, well, it has to be spot, specific, some specifics. So I put it in GitLab, actually, in GitHub. So I have it in GitHub, publicly available, so you can guys take a look. then GitLab, then API, then Web IDE, and at the end, it's DNS. I set up all DNS access. So, and this approach works pretty well. Just an example how it looks. I don't know. What can I say? Just good old Terraform. So what can I say about Kubernetes? Well, I'm using EKS, obviously, LB controller, because at some point I found that I'd rather use the certificates from AWS instead of playing with Let's Encrypt all this. It could be, yeah, that's just, it's free. So in Terraform, I just set up a certificate and I use it in the controller. So it works much more stable than Engine's controller with Cert Manager. Prometheus operator is Loki. Loki is another, I'm a huge fan of Loki. It's for aggregating. I can have another conference around Loki, so it's huge. CSA driver, all this standard stuff. And about, yeah, I was talking about Karpenter a lot already. So it chooses the right instance type. It creates a new working node really fast. It scales down, again, really good. So it takes care about spot instances, and volumes. I don't have any more pending pod stuck in the pending state. Not anymore. Okay, so work is very much in progress. So I'll be putting more stuff in my LinkedIn, and you have this GitHub with I cannot share everything with you because we have some intellectual property of Luxoft. But what I can definitely, I did share with you already. And all this improvement, I'll put it there. So, as a summary, where we did start. What was here for you? I believe everyone has his own ability to learn fast. Here, especially here in this audience. And my idea that the order is very important. So you go to dentist, first of all, you go Novocaine, and then you go fixing your tooth. Okay, so this is important. Because when we start with theory, when we start with talks, we have 90 seconds, and our brain starts to do something else. This is it. This is the rule, unless you're a genius. Okay, so maybe you're a genius. It does not work this way for you. You can have vivid imaginary. You don't have all these talks, and you can go with abstraction. I'm not this guy. I'm really simple. So for me, if I want, for example, I force myself through some Udemy course about Python, vision tracker, something like this. So it was very good. Like the guy explained everything. What I remember for it, well, it has AW in the name. This is it, because it has no any practical. So now, when I want to learn something, I start to do things. So starting with doing is very important. We use another part of the brain, and once it's there, reading documentation, it's just, oh, wow, what? So it's very interesting, actually. Yeah, Karpenter. I cannot recommend more. This is amazing, smart, really smart tool. Structure of your Terraform code. So again, small state, clear layers, clear order. It helps me a lot to set up things. And the important part is destroy everything, because it's not me doing this, it's somebody else doing. So it's very important. It works very well without my intervention. and this environment in browser. So I can put a lot of layers of protection. So I can say, well, only VPN. Well, client certificate. Well, zero trust. Well, password. So it's a lot of protection I can put because this environment in Kubernetes there. So and it's very easy to perform web development, and it's very easy to check in a new developer. It's very easy to check out old developer. So this is it. 25 minutes. I'm ready for a question. Можемо розмовляти на мові. Англійський – це для комп'ютерів.
Друзі, чи є питання?
Здравствуйте. Я хотела бы спросить, как вы дебажите и мониторите Karpenter? Как вы узнаете, что с ним какая-то проблема, и что вы делаете?
Локи.
Только локи?
Да.
Вам хватает?
Да.
Круто.
Да.
Спасибо.
Там ще є питання.
Павло мене звати. Чи використовує Luxoft Karpenter на продакшені? Це перше? Ні. Окей. І друге питання. Як ви міряєте його ефективність і якої ефективності вдалося досягати в Karpenter по порівнянні зі звичайним автоскалером?
Гроші. В 3-4 рази краще гроші.
Ага, прям грошима, а технічними метриками, там, утилізація ЦПУ, меморі не дивились?
Деньги.
Окей.
All about.
Дякую.
We are profiting. We are about profit.
Доброго дня, дякую. Цікава доповідь і класний кейс використання Kubernetes. Наступне питання. А чи виникали у вас складнощі з Graceful Shutdown і спотами? І, тобто, бувало таке, що, наприклад, студент там працює, і тут спот забирається, і він не може працювати, і якісь помилки отримує. І якщо таке виникає, то як ви цим боретеся?
Чекаємо. Час for break. 5 minutes break.
Тобто це в даному кейсі не критично?
Так. Karpenter, guys, Karpenter, it's not for production yet. It's for development environment. I would not put it in production. I would not put anything in production with 0.46. Just yet. We will be there. Not there yet. Для мого случаю це дуже шикарно. Я кажу,
зрозумів. Просто не виникає такої проблеми, і взагалі немає.
Вона виникає. Тобто, що бачить студент? Студент бачить 503 error. І все. І потім, так як у нас persistent volume claim, немає ніяких проблем.
Зрозумів, дякую.
І це дуже-дуже рідко, дуже. Може, 2-4 рази я бачив це. I like it. 30 minutes, and I hope I did level up your game. Thank you very much.
Дякую.